Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live. This is episode 82, and thank you guys for spending your Saturday evening with us because it's 90 degrees and sunny here in New York. We're not used to this kind of warm weather, so I know most people are grilling and swimming and having a good time. But for those of you tuning in, I appreciate you tuning in. So tonight we have the talented and beautiful Julia Goodwin. She's a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and pianist from Syracuse, New York. I'm also from Syracuse, New York, so it's going to be nice to talk to somebody from my hometown because I talk to people all over the country. Like, I talk to people all over. So to talk to someone who literally grew up 10 minutes from where I live, it's pretty cool. Like, we had a sound check earlier, and I'm really excited to bring her in the room. Hi, Don. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, Liz. So a little bit about Julia. She started writing her own songs at 10 years old, and in 2014, she was featured as a quarter finalist on NBC's America's Got Talent. Also, the new season of America's Got Talent started a couple days ago, so hope you guys are tuning into that as well. In February, Julia's single, Get Me, Got You, was released. And thank you guys for joining. I appreciate all your comments. Julia is in the house. So Julia, whenever you're ready, feel free to join the chat.
Hello.
Hi, Julia.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How's your Saturday going?
It's going well. How about yours?
It's going well. I mean, we're both in Syracuse. It's 90 and sunny, which is so weird, right?
Yes, very weird Syracuse, for sure.
Yeah, so those of you who are not familiar with the weather in Syracuse, it's always dark and overcast and rainy. And so, like, it's just a little weird because it's supposed to be like 90 degrees plus for the next like 4 days, right?
Yeah, which is amazing. It's a great gift. Like Syracuse, yeah, it's a blizzard usually. So, I mean, who knows? Like, maybe in the next 2 days there'll be a blizzard or like some sort of like rainstorm or something. So also very unpredictable.
You
But,
never know. Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
I know. The thing is with Syracuse, it could snow at any given time. So, like, for you to say, hey, it might snow in a couple days, I'm like, it actually might. You never know.
It's a toss-up. You know? Definitely. I still have all like my winter stuff out. Like, I pull out my winter coat occasionally. I'm like, what's going on? I don't even know what to prepare for today, but we go.
You have to, though, because Syracuse is one of those places where the weather is so unpredictable. It's like 95 degrees one day, and then it's 17 and snowing the next. And we're like, wait, what just happened?
Yep, exactly.
So I was introducing you to the room, and I start each I start each show off with a song lyric. So tonight's song lyric is going to be from Copycat, Billie Eilish, 2017. I know you've covered this song before. I'm just going to say some of these lyrics, and then you're going to tell me what this song means to you. Sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Don't be cautious. Don't be kind. You committed. I'm your crime. Push my button anytime. You got your finger on the trigger, but your trigger finger's mine.
Yeah, she really said no. I love Billie's defiant energy to just kind of go against the norm or what's expected.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people try and, I mean, her song, Why She Wrote This, was because people are trying to copy her and what she does. And she's like, just be your own person and like kind of stop trying to be me, do your thing and stop trying to drag me down or whatever.
Totally.
So I look up to Billie today because, you know, of her defiant energy and her music and how it's different than a lot of things that people are putting out today. So that's what this song particularly meant for me when I was singing it. I channeled a lot of that. She's very inspiring. Love her stuff.
Yeah, she is such a force to be reckoned with. Like, I remember when she first came on the scene, and I was like, oh my gosh, nobody sounds like her. Nobody looks like her. And I was like, she is just doing her own thing. And now when you're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, it's like you hear all these people that sound just like her. Like, I was watching something the other day with my mom, and my mom goes, oh my gosh, she sounds just like Billie Eilish. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but she should just do her own thing.
Mm-hmm. She's definitely a trendsetter, and she's inspiring a lot of girls and musicians in general today. So I think it's cool to definitely pull from her. But yeah, it's what's the coolest about her watching her is that she does her own thing and she's so true to herself. So hopefully inspires others to do that and find themselves.
Definitely. So let's start from the very beginning at childhood. Your dad played piano in the house while you were growing up.
Yeah. He
That
did.
your childhood and your love of music.
Yeah, well, growing up, like we had a bunch of music equipment around the house too because he was an audio sales rep. So he would sell like things like microphones and cables to people around the upstate New York area.
Yeah.
And we had that at the house, and he was also a musician and played himself. So like you said, he played piano primarily. And so I just remember growing up, he would play like the music of Billy Joel or Tom Petty, or he loved classic rock stuff, loves classic rock stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I would be singing along with him. My sister also sings too from time to time. So, we together, and it would be a family affair. But yeah, it was a great thing to grow up with and have music be an outlet that in a different language that we could all speak for the most part. But yeah, it was good.
That's gotta be such a fun way to grow up. Like your dad's always at the piano and you're just like singing with him. And then he's teaching you all this really cool music. Like you said, Tom Petty, Billy Joel, classic rock. And like you probably didn't even know what you were singing or what you were listening to at the time. And then the older you got, you're like, oh my gosh, like you have great taste in music.
Parents also, when they were younger, they used to DJ a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
So they just had a grand discography of music and CDs, like when those were a thing. We would just be playing all different types of music all the time. So everything from like Michael Jackson to like Avril Lavigne to like, or just anything. We would just hear a bunch of stuff growing up. So it was great.
Yeah. And when we talked earlier, you told me that your dad is in a Tom Petty cover band. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yes, very cool. It's a fun time going to those shows. But he plays a lot of Tom Petty music, but also just classic rock in general. So it's great to get all my friends and family to go. And yeah, they're nice.
Oh my gosh. And Tom, oh, the music of Tom. And Tom passed a couple of years ago, as I'm sure everybody watching knows. So to carry on the legacy in Tom's music is so amazing.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And it's definitely his songwriting too is so cool to listen to. Like as a myself, he's just a very good storyteller, which I value a lot. Mm-hmm. So each song he writes it takes you to a different space or a different time or world, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, so amazing. How would you describe the sound of your music?
I feel like it draws from a bunch of things. When I was younger, I used to love like a lot of pop divas. Mm-hmm. Stuff like, I mean, I still love Ariana Grande to this day. But like I was a huge, like I remember Cheetah Girls and like Hannah Montana and like all that sort of stuff. Like I just loved like girl power and pop music in general. Mm-hmm. Then around 15, I got into jazz music, a lot of jazz music. I was doing musical theater before that when I was younger, so I was somewhat exposed, but I didn't really know a lot about it. Yeah. Now that definitely influences like my writing, my chord choices, things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, classic rock, obviously, from my dad, that influence. And just, I try and actively find, like, different things to listen to, like, out of my comfort zone as well. But I would probably say pop, R&B, some classic rock, singer-songwriter stuff, all meshed together. And, yeah, that's where I draw a lot of influence from.
So when you say you step out of your comfort zone and you listen to things maybe you wouldn't normally listen to, mm-hmm. what genres or what artists would that be for you?
Oh, I'm trying to think of one, like, recently, but I don't know. Like, my boyfriend's family, like, loves a bunch of rock music and stuff, so it's very interesting to go over there and to hear, like, a whole different genre of stuff than I hear at my own household. So that's like an example I can think of off the top of my head, but I love finding new things and being like, oh, like, I love how they did that, or I love how they told the story in this way. So always, like, being open to new things, and all those different things that you never thought about before can influence your writing and music, you know, in the future.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Because you might be like, someone might say, oh, hey, you should listen to this. And it might not necessarily be the genre of music you like, or maybe you might not even like this person who's singing. But if you listen to the songwriting or you listening to them play an instrument, you're like, oh, but I can really appreciate that.
Yeah. That's it. Mm-hmm. Very much so. Like, I think that when I hear, like, opera music and stuff, I love just how strong their voices are. Like, it's very different in a lot of ways from jazz music, just how things are sung technically, even, just taking that aspect.
Definitely.
like that's an example that I can just think of right now, but like the technicality of opera is so much different than what I'm used to. I mean, I still am very technical with my singing, like to be healthy and safe, but yeah, it's just it's interesting to listen to and appreciate that people can do that and have that ability.
Yeah. Oh, with operatic singers,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
control and the breath, like you hear them singing, you're like, wait, how does that sound come out of you?
it's insane. I'm like, what? How? But yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah, the cool thing with opera though is if you're an opera singer, you could literally sing anything. Like that just gives you free reign to just do your thing anywhere else.
Like ultimate breath support, ultimate like you're working on your range and everything, your vocal stability and stamina all the time. So yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm. What musicians inspire you?
Well, I would say like musicians that I mean, I grew up with my dad who's a musician. He inspires me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that got me into music in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I really love Billy Joel. I
Yeah.
love piano playing and songwriting. I think it's amazing. I love Mac Miller
Mm-hmm.
because I love his storytelling and kind of how I don't know, I feel like every song is a journey with him. Especially there's an album called The Divine Feminine that I really love by him.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say Ella Fitzgerald is probably my third, like, one that inspires me. Her technicality is crazy. I love her voice. I'm just such a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And you just feel everything that she's saying and singing. And that's kind of how I hope to be in my own music.
Yeah, I think it's so powerful when you listen to a vocalist sing and you feel it in every inch of your body. Like that's when you know you're like, whoa, like I feel every lyric that this person is saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just feeling that connection with an artist is something that like it's indescribable, the feeling, I feel like.
Right.
So.
Yeah, like if you're not an actual like if someone wasn't a singer, right? And it's like, okay, just be passionate about this. Like you can't fake that. Like you have to either have it or you don't.
Yeah, I guess. I just feel like just with anybody singing, it's important to really know what you're singing about and like you can connect with that. I feel like the more vulnerable you are with music and with yourself, the easier it is to tell these stories and the easier it is for people to see like and genuinely connect with that. So I feel like anyone who wants to sing and anyone who's willing to be vulnerable is gonna, connecting with people no matter what.
Yeah. Be vulnerable, be honest, like be yourself, like put the emotion into what you're singing. I think that's so important.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like I feel like I still like am continuing to open up, and it's hard to open up to just like strangers, I guess. It's very rewarding in the end because you don't realize how many people are probably going through the same things you are, good and bad. So I don't know. Yeah, it creates a community, which is nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing is music heals. So like when you listen to a song and the artist says, "Oh, I just want this to change one person's life," and it changes hundreds, if not thousands or millions of people's life, like that is the power of music and the power of songwriting.
Yeah, I totally agree, 100%.
Mm-hmm. What musicians would you like to collaborate with?
Wow, that's a hard question. I feel like Billy Joel would be great. I would love to.
Oh, I can see that.
I just I would love that. I would be such a fangirl though. I would definitely like lose my cool if I even saw him in person, but whatever. But him, I mean, I love just Ariana Grande's voice in general. Just to hear that like in person and collaborate with that would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a couple I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, Billy Joel as a songwriter too would just be like a very, very cool experience. I feel like another songwriter I really love is Julia Michaels.
Oh, she's cool.
Yeah, I love her songwriting and she's so witty about things. So she would be another one. But the list goes on. I feel like I could name tons and tons of names.
Yeah.
But those are a few. Yeah.
You've performed at some pretty iconic venues. Radio City, Carnegie Hall, the Kennedy Center, like, and the list goes on. What's your favorite venue to perform at and why?
Oh, that's a hard question. I feel like, let's see, one of my favorites, I would say, was Radio City. I feel like that was just a surreal experience, and I had some friends and family that came as well, so sharing it with them was a crazy time. I would definitely say that was one of my favorites. I actually was able to travel to Italy, it was a while ago, but to perform, and that was a really fun time as well. I got to tour around there, which is cool, like different places and different cultures, and um, but yeah, those are a few. And I love performing like in my hometown as well, and having my friends and family be able to come and see, and my community be able to come and see me, and yeah, those are a few.
So because we're both from Syracuse, what are a few of your favorite venues to perform in the Syracuse area?
I always had this thing with Paper Mill Island in Baldwinsville. That was another fun one. I did something with 93Q when I was younger, in a summer jam show.
Yeah.
But I was able to finally perform at Paper Mill Island, and I was like, wow, this is like what I've always wanted to do. It just always seemed like such a cool and stage to me growing up, and I still feel like I would love to go back there at some point again and do something. But that's one of them that just like I really loved being at.
Yeah, very cool. Are there any other Syracuse venues that you are a fan of?
I really like, I got to perform at the Landmark Theater as well, which was very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are probably my two favorites, but there's a bunch of like small spots and stuff too that's really fun to perform around in the Syracuse area as well.
Definitely. So let's talk about Michael Feinstein. He is a friend as well as a mentor. Can you talk about how you met him and what is he like as a mentor?
Yeah, so I met him by entering in this competition.
Yeah.
That's when I became involved with jazz music. A friend of mine was like, oh, like I was just a part of this. I feel like you would really like it and benefit from this. I'm like, sure, like let's try something out. Knowing nothing about jazz music at all, I entered this competition called like this Great American Songbook High School Vocal Competition. Like at the time it was this long name, but now it's just the Songbook Academy. Yeah. And what they try and spread basically awareness about this genre of music and continue its legacy. And so I went there and met some people across the country, and Michael was there and he was doing some master classes and stuff, and I ended up like winning, which was amazing. And because of that, I was able to form a friendship with Michael, and we did some shows together and toured around a little bit. And he just really taught me about this genre of music, and especially I keep kind of talking about storytelling in music. I feel like I really learned that aspect from him and what connection really meant with audiences and with people. Yeah. And just that is the key, like to be vulnerable and to open up, and like a performance doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Yeah. And so that's something I learned from him, but just was introduced to like a bunch of some of my favorites. For example, Ella Fitzgerald, which I brought up earlier. Yeah. I would have never really gone into her discography as much if it wasn't for him and the Songbook Academy. And so it was a great experience, and he's a great guy. He's hilarious. But yeah, no, he taught me a lot, and he's extremely talented. And just watching him perform, you see that storytelling aspect and that connection he makes.
And it's so cool to have a mentor like that you really look up to and you can learn from, because it doesn't matter what's the word? It doesn't really matter what venue you're in. You could be like a tennis player, you could be like into cooking, but like you need to have mentors and people you look up to and people that have done what you've done. So it's really cool that like you toured with him, he mentors you, he's a friend. And like, do you have a kind of relationship with him where like if you had a question about songwriting or something, you just call him up or text him?
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just feel like knowing him like as a person more too, the more I got to know him, definitely. Like bigger fan I became of him as well, just because I was able to just become his friend and see him as a real person, and then watch him perform on stage. I'm like, wow, he really means that, or he really he's being so genuine when he performs. And the fact that he also uses he's so smart too. Like you can put him on anything. He'll be like, this song is from 1938, written by like the Gershwins and blah, blah, blah. Like he just knows every little detail and fact about each song as well. So not only is he singing from personal experiences, but knows the background of how these songs were made and like what impact they made at the time. And so he's using his knowledge and continuing to educate people and kids to this day so that this music lives on. And the song continues to grow. Like it includes people like Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald, but also Billy Joel, Elton John. All of their music is music that stands the test of time.
Of course.
yeah, it'll only continue to grow. And so I'm hoping too, like jazz music obviously has influenced my style a lot. So
Yeah.
hopefully continue to spread that legacy of just listening to the old classics.
Yeah, that's so important. Like you need to sometimes go back 50 or 60 years and be like, wait, I wasn't alive then. Like, what did I miss?
Yeah, and some of your favorites like were influenced by, their favorites were influenced by their favorites, and it goes back in time anyway. So just seeing where all this came from and where all this rooted from. And again, like what we were talking about, just being open to listening to new things
Yeah.
is just even a better musician. So, yeah.
Yeah. I completely agree with that 100%. What's one of your most memorable times performing?
Right. I think it was actually the first one I could think of was at Paper Mill Island when I did the 93Q show.
Yeah.
It just I was performing with my dad's band. Their band was backing me at the time. I was singing alongside some artists that I was fans of at the time, Andy Grammer, Jake Miller.
Yeah.
And it just was really cool. There were people from my hometown there, and it was just kind of filled too, which was amazing. Like just to have an experience like that, I was like, wow, like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. People see me, but that's always a good thing. No. But yeah, no, that was definitely a memorable time for me. I feel like also, of course, like being on AGT was very memorable, very surreal too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just experiences like no other for sure.
Mm-hmm. So that actually brings me to my next question. It kind of like walked right into it. In 2014, you were on a show called America's Got Talent Season 9, and you picked New York State of Mind when you auditioned for the judges. What made you pick that specific song?
Yeah, I feel like, well, obviously Billy Joel is one of my favorites,
Definitely.
but that song in particular is one that I grew up singing with my dad. When we still do gigs today, like my dad and I will do a duo show.
Yep.
That's one of our signature songs that we always do. So just having that with him, like that experience,
Right.
Something that I could connect to. And so I brought the show and I was like, I love this. And then somebody had brought, like they found a different version, a Tony Bennett version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like I know you love jazz music and I feel like this could really connect with you as well. And I was like, oh, that's great. Like it's a different spin than the classic Billy Joel version. Definitely. And feels very me as well. And so it just kind of worked out perfectly.
Yeah. So did you go to them and say, this is the song I want to sing? Or did they say, hey, we think you should sing one of these songs?
No, I suggested that song. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know on some of these singing shows, they say, oh, with clearances and copyright, like you can only sing like these songs. And then someone gets pushed into doing a song that they don't really want to do. But it sounds like they were totally on board with you singing that song.
Yeah, totally on board with it. And luckily, yeah, there is things like clearances and copyrights that you have to abide by and, you know, be flexible with that. But fortunately for me, I was able to sing things that I really loved.
Yeah.
Show. And so a couple of songs I sang, New York State of Mind was one. I sang Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. I don't know, I've always had wanted to do that. And so it was very cool to bring that idea I had in my head of making it kind of like a string version, very lush version to life.
Yeah.
They were totally like, yeah, let's try it. Let's do it. And we did, Feeling Good was another one. Mm-hmm. The jazz standard, Michael Bublé has covered it. But yeah, it was Anthony Newley and Leslie Brickis that wrote it. So yeah, cool.
Very cool. What's something that surprised you about your time on America's Got Talent?
Something that surprised me? I mean, it was surprising to see all the talented people that were performing me, and I became friends with them. Like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like, your voices are insane, or your magic is insane, or like just seeing out there. And, we all have this thing in common. We work hard to do what we love to do. And it was cool to see and appreciate everybody's talents while being on there. So it was surprising, like, oh my gosh, like, that's amazing. But also, it was cool to see like the behind the scenes of how everything works as well. Mm-hmm. And I had a great experience while I was on the show too, which was great. And my dad actually was able to like be on the show with me from time to time. So it was cool. It was great. Yeah.
It was like a bonding thing that you had with your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So I'm a huge fan of Michael McDonald, and I know that you opened up for him. So can you tell us this story about how you opened up for Michael McDonald?
Yeah, no, I was asked to do the Syracuse Jazz Fest at the time.
Yeah.
And he was headlining the show, which was crazy. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to meet him or anything, but we ran backstage briefly because I performed towards the beginning of the day, and then he was obviously headlining later at night. And so I was going to go out into the crowd and like watch everything and kind of eat some food, hang out. And then we ran into him. My dad was freaking out. I mean, I was freaking out from like, oh my God. He's like, dude, play it cool. He's like, all right. Sure. Luckily, Michael McDonald, but I was like, Dad, do you want one? He's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, okay. But yeah. But yeah, it was very cool. It was awesome and I'm very lucky that I was able to do that.
Mm-hmm. So did you guys get a photo with him?
I did. Yes, I did. I'll have to surface it. I'll have to find it. But I remember doing it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm like, play it cool, Julia. Let's go. But no, yeah.
Did your dad get a photo with him?
No, he didn't end up getting a photo with him. I was like, Dad, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I don't want to bother him. I'm like,
aww.
He's like, it's fine. Like, you got one with him. We have like, something, and that's fine. It was great. He was a great, nice guy too, as well. So
yeah, he's so legendary. So for you, not only for you to, go on stage before him, but then to actually meet him, I just feel like he's such an icon.
Mm-hmm. Such an icon. Yeah.
And
like Michael McDonald impressions and stuff. So like knowing that in my head and then seeing Michael McDonald, I'm like, oh my gosh, should I just like tell him like, oh, Dad, why don't you do an impression? No.
Oh my God, that would have been so funny because he would like his face would have turned red.
Yeah, literally, probably.
So you also you worked with Benny Mardones. Talk to me about the first time you met Benny.
Yeah, so actually, my dad is in like a Tom Petty tribute band. I think we mentioned this earlier, but
yeah,
and his band, like some of the members were actually like they would back Benny when he came into town, into the Syracuse area. And as like Benny was a huge fan of the Syracuse area and considered it his hometown, so that's amazing. And there was one show, I was younger, I was like 12 or 13, where I went and sang, I think it was Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And he allowed me to sing it at a show, and he was like, yeah, this is Julia, whatever. He made me feel so special, and he was just so welcoming and nice. And I'll always remember that experience because of how, nice and gracious he was about it.
Yeah. And anybody that knows Benny Mardones, he absolutely loves Syracuse, New York. Unfortunately, he passed last year, but like he was always in Syracuse. Like you said, it was like his second home.
Yeah, always. He loved the Syracuse area. So I don't know, that's something that inspired me as well, is just to appreciate your community and your hometown and where you come from. And always keep that close to heart.
Yeah, you have to, because it's like, that's what raised you. Like the people that you went to school with, like the things that you experienced when you were younger. Like, yeah, Syracuse is your hometown and my hometown. So,
oh,
yeah, I feel like we're like 10 minutes I feel like driving distance, we're probably 10 minutes from each other right now.
Honestly, probably. That's crazy. Right around the corner.
So you've covered songs from Billie Eilish, Beyonce, Carrie Underwood, countless others. What's one of your favorite songs to perform and why?
It depends. I mean, I think I always love performing original songs. I think that when I'm on my own, I think performing my originals is fun.
Yeah.
My dad, we do a lot of, classic rock stuff. So I love Breakdown by Tom Petty, or like, obviously New York State of Mind by Billy Joel, just the classics like that. But it really depends on the setting. Like sometimes I had a band my junior year of college, and we would cover a bunch of pop songs, which was fun. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it just depends, I guess.
And what about your originals? What's your favorite original song to play?
There's some that are unreleased right now, which are some of my favorites to play, but in the works, we'll hear them eventually. Yes.
Yeah, so guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Julia, because she is dropping a lot of good music soon.
Yeah. Yes.
Very soon. I don't know how soon it is, but stay tuned.
Yeah. No. Yep.
What artists or genres of music have you been listening to during this quarantine?
I've been listening to, I'm trying to think. Um, I've been listening to some Ella Fitzgerald a lot. I've been listening to, I mean, I love R&B music and R&B hip hop music, so listening to a lot of that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I kind of keep up with like New Music Friday too and try and hear like the new releases as well. So it just kind of varies, I guess. But recently, like Olivia Rodrigo obviously is
Yeah.
blowing up her new album. It's great. So yeah, just an array of things, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's important to be on to know what's going on with current music, right? Because it's like when they have these award shows, sometimes they have the award shows. I'm like, I don't know anybody who's at this award show right now.
Yeah, literally. But it's nice to be surprised too in music. I like that element of surprise when listening to stuff. So it's sometimes it does get, I mean, I find myself, I'm also one of those people with all this being said, like that will find a song and just listen to it on repeat. I'm like one of those psychopaths that just like listen to a song for like a day just on a loop.
Really?
Oh yeah, totally. But I love like just kind of stumbling across things or having like friends and family show me new things. And New Music Friday helps me to like go out of my comfort zone a little bit and just discover new stuff. So yeah.
What was the last song you listened to the whole day long from sun up to sundown? Do you remember the last song you listened to like that?
I think it actually was an Olivia Rodrigo song. It's a song called Jealousy, Jealousy.
Uh-huh.
Pumping it in my car. I was like, this is too good. Like I can't not like listen to this. I was like, oh, it's amazing. But definitely like I remember when Rain on Me by like Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande came out. I was playing that a lot. Like I sometimes I get in this thing where I find a song that I really love and I'm like, I gotta hear that again. Like let's go. But yeah, it's a little mix of everything.
Yeah. And then you listen to it all day long and you're like, oh my gosh, I've listened to this like over 50 times today.
Yeah, no, literally. I'm probably like helping some artists with their stream, whatever song I get stuck on. So
What song do you wish you wrote and why?
I would say, honestly, I feel like this is one of the most mainstream John Mayer songs, but I love Stop This Train. I just think the concept of that is amazing and how he phrases it just connects with so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say that song. It's so timeless too, I feel like. Just the message and just the production and the lyricism and definitely that is one of the ones that I wish I wrote.
Mm-hmm. John Mayer is absolutely amazing. His guitar playing and his songwriting is just takes it to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm. And he's one that does a lot of it on his own.
Yeah.
So that's for us, again, like so genuine. And he's willing to be so vulnerable with all of his music. So yeah.
Yeah. There's times like I've actually seen videos of John Mayer and I'm completely mesmerized. I'm like, wait, what am I watching? This is insane. Like who plays guitar like this?
Like literally it's insane just watching him play, but that's a lot of practice too right there for sure. So
yeah, I feel like no one can touch John Mayer on the guitar.
it's very hard. It would be very, very hard. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a genius, like lyrical genius as well. And just yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
So your single Get Me Got You was released earlier this year. Talk to us about the inspiration behind this song.
Yeah. So Get Me Got Me, or Get Me Got You, excuse me. I actually wrote it with a couple of my friends from the Syracuse area, Aaron and Lorenzo and Justin. Mm-hmm. That was a really cool experience because it was actually one of our first times writing together, and we came out with this song, and I was like, oh, I love it. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. But yeah, it's just kind of about, it's just that not only that infatuation with someone, but like a connection, genuine connection with somebody, and just feeling just me being super soft and like just being very in love. So yeah, that was the inspiration behind that, and it just came together very seamlessly and is one of my favorites. Yeah, it's such an incredible song. Guys, if you haven't already, please make sure to check out this song on all streaming platforms. It came out in February. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Of course. So talk to us about what's next. Live streams, tour dates, collaborations. What's coming up for you? Yeah, a lot of stuff is in the works right now, but I mean, I've been spending a lot of time over quarantine and, you know, COVID and everything, writing and spending time sitting with myself. So original music on the way, more of it. Yeah. And yeah, hopefully more opportunities like this to see you guys and perform, and looking forward to the new music ahead for sure.
Yes, it is coming. So please, guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Julia. The new music is coming soon. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice I've ever been given? Let's see. Ooh. I don't know. I think one of the best pieces of advice I can think of was from my dad. He was like, luck is when operation or preparation meets opportunity.
Hmm.
And I love that. I just think that if you prepare enough and you want to capitalize on opportunity, then the luck will find you. And I feel like if you're being genuine and yeah, just keep practicing and working hard, then there's no reason why you can't succeed. I feel like yeah, I don't know. I think that was a good piece of advice for me that just inspired me to persevere, I guess.
Yeah.
But I also just like, just as a general piece of inspiration is being, oh, here's another thing. This is how I phrase it. Okay. It's perfectionism is a mask of insecurity. I think that's a really good.
Ooh.
Because I was so perfect about everything, and just everything to be like every duck in a row, like, but I found that vulnerability and being real and genuine is just goes so much farther than being perfect in any way.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that when I listen to my favorite musicians, and I hope to continue to do that.
Yeah. I meet a lot of creative people that want to be everything to be perfect. They're like, oh, it has to sound a certain way. It has to look a certain, I have to be like dressed a certain way. And it's like, the perfect thing is like, you want to be vulnerable.
Cool. I want things, if I have a vision for things, I definitely want things a certain way and things the way I see it. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want to beat myself up either. Like, if something didn't happen perfectly or something out of my happened, like, to have that connection and be vulnerable with people is so much more than having this perfect thing or being a perfect person, I guess, because that's not, so definitely I do like, I have that perfectionist quality, I guess, when it comes to like my vision or what I want in a song or what I want in a performance or like something. But just remembering that I don't have to be a perfect musician or a perfect person all the time, and to be vulnerable is just so much more important.
Yeah.
I constantly remind myself about, because it's hard. The music is hard.
It
but
is.
It's also very fun if you just relax a little,
Like, I get like perfectionism thing because it's like you want everything to be perfect. Like if you post a video and it's even 15 seconds, you're like, oh my gosh, it's not just gonna be one take, it's gonna be 17 takes. You know what I mean?
I am like the biggest, like, I definitely have done like some of my covers up on Instagram, or I used to do Vine a lot, and Vine was like seconds long, and I'd be sitting there for like an hour or two, and I'm like, I just got to get it the right way that I see it, like there's a way that this needs to be executed. But also at some point too, you got to know when to let go of something and be like, this is like the most genuine and vulnerable and greatest version because of that. So yeah, it's a balance for sure.
Yeah, people appreciate vulnerability. Like, think of the people that you and I listen to that we look up to and our mentors. It's like, I don't want to see them like looking cookie cutter and like, oh, it has to be perfect. Like, if someone's like recording something and they burp in the middle of it, you should just leave it up. Like, we all burp.
Oh, exactly. Great.
I mean, because it's like, of course you weren't expecting to do it, but you did it, and it's kind of like, okay, whatever.
It's
like,
human. Yeah.
At least it wasn't like the 47th time you recorded. It was like, okay, whatever.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So tell everybody that's watching right now how they can follow you, all your social media channels. Plug everything.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can find me for the most part at _Julia Goodwin, which is my Instagram and Twitter. But my TikTok, it's like at _Julia Goodwin with like a few extra N's at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can keep up with me there. And I think you like linked my link tree.
I did. Yeah. So guys, the link tree is linked below. I pinned it.
Yes. So yeah, you can check out my newest song there, and you can also see some of my other songs up right now, and definitely more to come. So keep up with me on my social media. I'll keep you guys updated.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, for people that are watching this right now, how can they support you as a musician?
I would just say, I guess listening to my music is one of the greatest ways. I think just hearing my story is support enough. I feel like I want to spread my story, and hopefully that connects with other people, and to have people listen to it and resonate with it is the greatest gift. So yeah, more to come, and I hope you guys check it out when it is out.
Yeah, so please make sure to follow Julia. So that's all the questions I have for you, but you are going to perform for us.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Take it away.
Well, the first one is an unreleased original. But yeah, I thought I would try it out today and see what you think. But yeah, it's about a relationship and a past one that I had. And just kind of knowing that you guys are growing on two different paths, but also that your relationship was great for what it was. So, like maybe it wasn't the destination at the end of the day, but it was a great pit stop. It was great for what it was at the time. And you guys can always go way back and just have that memory, but you're moving on, and maybe it wasn't meant for you, but it was still a good thing. So yeah, that's what this song's about. Okay. Your pit stop on the drive, round trip to paradise. A day turned into night, and then the weekends. A movie finished screening, a phrase that loses meaning. The world when you don't see it, how you've seen it. Times you make me second guess when we pick up where we left things. And it's enough to forget, but never what I'm expecting. What am I expecting? I should let it rest and move on to the next thing. Could be the best thing. It's when I reminisce and make up happy endings. Baby, you are the best thing I'm meant to have. Maybe we were a great thing I'm meant to last. Maybe now I have found my place in your past. Maybe it ain't too bad, this new place that we're at. 'Cause we'll always go way back. Driving down the highway, moving at a high rate. We can't stop this train from passing through. Keep on, we've graduated, kept on different pages. No, I can't help but me, and that you're you. Times you make me second guess when we pick up where we left things. And it's enough to forget, but never what I'm expecting. What am I expecting? I should let it rest and move on to the next thing. Could be the best thing. It's when I reminisce and make up happy endings. You are the best thing I'm meant to. Maybe we were a great thing I'm meant to last. Maybe now I have found my place in your place. Maybe it ain't too bad, this new place that we're at. 'Cause we'll always go way back. Always go way back to remember when, to remind that we're in, 'cause we'll always go way back.
Yeah! Thank you for sharing that. What's the name of that song called?
I'm still honestly deciding on a title, but either like Best Thing Not Meant to Have or like Always Go Way Back, something like that. But
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for dropping that exclusive on the show. I was like, oh my gosh, what's the title of the song? But yeah, so for those of you who want to know when this song's released, you gotta stay tuned. Please follow Julia because she hasn't even named the song yet.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But yeah, this next one you might be a little more familiar with. I did my own sort of arrangement on this, but hope you enjoy it. Hey kids, shake it loose together. Spotlight's hitting something that's been known to change the weather. We killed the fatty calf tonight, so stick around. You're gonna hear electric music, solid walls of sound. Say, Candy, Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, but they're so spaced out. But Benny and the Jets. Oh, but they're weird and they're wonderful. Oh, Benny, she's really keen. She's got electric boots, a mohair suit. You know I read it in a magazine. Oh, Benny and the Jets. Benny and the Jets. Yeah, tiny, tiny. Hey kids, plug into the faithless. Maybe they're blinded, but Benny makes them ageless. We shall survive. Let us take ourselves along, where we fight our parents out on the streets to find who's right and who's wrong. Say, Candy, Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, but they're so spaced out. Benny and the Jets. Oh, but they're weird and they're wonderful. Oh, Benny, she's a really kid. She's got electric boots, a mohair suit. You know I read it in a magazine. Oh, Benny and the Jets. Yeah. Say, Candy, Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, but they're so spaced out. Benny and the Jets. Oh, but they're weird and they're wonderful. Oh, Benny, she's a really keen. She's got electric boots, a mohair suit. You know I read it in a magazine. Oh, Candy, Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, but they're so spaced out. Benny and the Jets. Oh, but they're weird and they're wonderful. Oh, Benny, she's a really keen. She's got electric boots, a mohair suit. You know I read it in a magazine. Oh, Benny and the Jets. Benny and the Jets.
Oh, Julia, I love that. First off, I was telling you earlier, no one's really played Elton John on my show, and when you played Benny for me earlier, I was like, what? She's gonna play this song? Oh my god! And your rendition, the whole like jazz smooth. Oh, I love it. What a beautiful rendition.
Thank you. I'll have to post this full cover up soon, so that's
Oh,
definitely planned as well, so be on the lookout for that too.
Definitely. Emily, Carrie, also love you, Julia, Grandpa, and Grandma.
Oh, nice. Hi. Hi.
Gilly, Kelly, Emily, thank you guys. Thank you so much. So, guys, if you have any questions for Julia, feel free to put them in the chat below.
Yes, definitely.
So, walk us through your creative process.
It's kind of different each time, I would say. It depends, what element of inspiration comes first. So either sometimes I come up with a chord progression in my head and I'm like, oh, I got to get this down. And then it stays in my notes or my voice memos rather for a while. And then I find a lyric or just some sort of quote or something that somebody said in conversation that sparks an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And once I kind of have a clear concept down for something, the rest kind of just flows from there. So I guess it depends, on what element of inspiration comes first.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, I do keep a lot of just little lyric lines or just like a word that I like in my notes app and go back to that. And once I have like a clear vision of what I want to say, then go from there. But yeah.
So was your note section like 600 notes long?
It's so cluttered. It's insane. Yeah. And even my notes app, my phone, I have like records on there from just forever, like years ago. And so there's just stuff when you scroll. Sometimes I even forget what's in there. Like there's so much stuff. But even now I've kind of moved on to like doing like little videos of myself too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's cluttering up my phone as well. My iCloud is just insane. But
so many videos.
Oh yeah. But it just depends, I think. But
yeah. What instrument would you like to learn?
Oh, I mean, I think I still would want to master the piano. I think a lot of what I do is by ear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think that, really mastering it and being able to, like, I love, like, when I would do jazz gigs and stuff, I would bring a piece of sheet music up and just give it to the piano player and they could just read it. Like, never have seen it before. I think that's so impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody gave me like the song to listen to, I could probably fiddle around and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, mastering piano, I would say. But I think my boyfriend was teaching me bass for a little while. Like, it's something about it I just love. Obviously, guitar too for songwriting purposes, but I think bass is just like a very cool instrument. I don't know. So probably that.
Yeah, I think the bass is one of those things that just like, it's so groovy. Like there's this element of confidence that a bass player has. It's like, oh my God, that person plays the bass and you're completely mesmerized by them.
There's a coolness about people that play bass, I've noticed. So I like that a lot. It's like you're learning the instrument, but you're also learning this new like personality trait, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
I love it. It's like, yeah, you have to have confidence to play the bass because like you can't be like an insecure bass player.
I know, you gotta be on beat, dude. That's what it's about. So no, yeah.
Yes. What was the first song you sang with your dad on stage?
Oh, it had to probably be a Billy Joel song, like a New York State of Mind. I also remember when I was younger singing At Last, the rendition that Etta James did a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe that, Sunday Morning by Maroon 5, those classic karaoke like songs. But yeah, probably Billy Joel is one of the earliest back I remember, honestly.
Where do you want to perform after COVID?
Oh, great question. I don't know. I feel like I would want to perform in different parts of the country and the world. So maybe not like a venue in particular.
Yeah.
But just see different things. I feel like I would want to travel and just look around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially after being in quarantine for so long.
Yeah.
Now that it's safer to travel and do things, would definitely like to do that.
Yeah. Where do you play in Syracuse?
All over. Sometimes I even feature with my dad's band too, like his Tom Petty like Hard Promises band.
Yeah.
And so yeah, sometimes I'm even doing that. So if you keep up with my social media and stuff, a lot of the times I will be posting a bunch of where I'm performing. So, and hopefully I'll be doing some more live streams and stuff like that as well. So
yeah, because shows are coming back. Like,
yeah, I'm glad things are a lot safer now, and excited to see some live music.
Yeah, yeah, because now the weather is nicer, so it's like people are tending to go outside more. I mean, yes, there are places that are opening like smaller venues, but it's kind of like you might as well just have an outdoor concert.
I know, especially with Syracuse, it's going to be like 90 or something
I
like
know.
tomorrow.
I know. It's like I've been sweating all day. Like I mean, it's a good thing because I'm not used to sweating in Syracuse. But it's like, yeah, just go outside, have a good time, sing in a parking lot, and it'll be a show, right?
That exactly. I remember I lived in New York City for a summer when I was a freshman in college.
Uh,
It was like a quick last minute thing. Like my friend was going down there. She's like, I need a roommate. Like, want to come? And I'm like, sure. Like, why not? And I remember during the day, like I would go and like I was just learning guitar and I had no like sound system or anything. But I don't know why this just reminded me of that. But I would like bring my guitar and just like sit on the side of like Union Square or
yeah,
something, playing and make I don't know, like make like $15 or something. But like no, just like sitting out there for a second. But it was also good practice to do that.
right.
But yeah, I don't know.
I give you props for doing that because the thing is, there's so many musicians in New York City on street corners, in the subway, just random places. And like, it takes courage to go out there with a piano or a keyboard or a guitar, even just like you just singing, like, and just do your thing on the street. Like, I give you props for that.
I mean, I learned a lot too. Like I just kind of one day was like, I want to go and do this. I had my guitar with me. I brought it like when I moved down there and I was like, let's
Yeah.
go. Like just kind of seeing like how everybody else's show goes too. And like I probably need like some like sound system speaker stuff when I go or like just seeing kind of what that entails was such a learning process too. So it was fun, but also I learned a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's all the time that we have for this evening. But Julia, do you have any final words for the room?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So much fun and I'm looking forward to releasing some stuff. I'll let you know about it. And
Yes.
yeah, this was great. Thank you, Ashley.
Yes, of course. So, guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Julia. She has a lot of good stuff coming up. And if you don't already, please make sure to follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibing with Ashley Live. And thank you guys for spending your Saturday night with us.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.